You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Lift podcast. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube account. We are on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. All the podcast links are in there. We also have an apparel line that's taking pre-orders right now. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Official handle. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift fitness group on Facebook that's Dads Who Lift Official. A group of 30,000 like-minded dads that are just trying to be their best selves and staying fit. If that's something you're into, please check it out. But we do this stuff for free, guys, so please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We really appreciate your support. You are now tuned into the Dads Who Lift podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gaeta.
Joel Staley.
Oh, there's a little phone camera over there. Since we're down the camera. So I want to start by talking. We're going to do a fitness podcast. We haven't done a fitness podcast in a minute. Been doing a lot of growth-minded podcasts, which are great. But I like to switch it up every once in a while, so we thought we would throw in a nice little fitness podcast. So what I want to start talking about is building metabolism. I think we should just jump into it a little bit. We don't have to get into, Joel and I have different views on one portion of it, but that's really not even building metabolism. So we really don't even need to get into that. But we're going to talk about building metabolism, and then we're going to go into gym etiquette, which I don't think is discussed very often. And it can get pretty funny also, I think. Yeah. So to start off, I guess, if you are a crazy experienced bodybuilder, you already know about building your metabolism. You already know it's a thing. But the reason that I want to talk about this is because a lot of guys don't. A lot of people don't. And when I first started years ago in the bodybuilding area, and I was trying to lose weight, wanted to cut up, I could never fucking drop weight. And I would go to all these trainers, and they would put me on, 2,000 calorie a day diets and all this stuff. And I would drop a little bit of weight, tone down a little bit, and then I would always hit this plateau. And I couldn't lose any more weight past like 200 pounds or 201 pounds. And
where'd you start from, though? You started pretty high.
Well, that was, what was your highest? 240.
240, okay.
Yeah.
40 pounds.
But that took years.
Yeah.
To get down to that 201. That was a few years past. But point being is that I'm not throwing any trainers under the bus. Point being is that I didn't even know that it was possible to build metabolism. I thought that what I always told myself is it's just your genetics. Your genetics are fucked. Your metabolism's slow. That's just how it is. You're just screwed. It is what it is. You have to starve yourself to lose weight, basically. And I didn't even know it was a thing to be able to build metabolism. And basically how you build metabolism is you consistently, slowly add calories, food. The best way to do it is clean. I suppose you could dirty bulk and build metabolism too. Probably do the same thing.
Yeah, you're way better off with high protein. You get a higher thermic effect of food, so you're burning more. You're definitely, if you're going to increase your calories, you're way better off from a physique standpoint to stick to like the old Pareto principle, 80% clean and then the 20% fucking pizza and tacos or whatever.
For sure. Yep. So you slowly add food, high protein. Mine's actually even high carb, but I keep it clean as I do it, and then slowly add food every week. And the whole goal here when you're building metabolism is not to lose any weight. It's to stay the same weight, and hopefully put on some muscle too. So hopefully you'll lean up a little bit, put on more muscle because you are feeding, with the high protein and the calories and the carbs, you are feeding your muscles. So you need to be lifting the whole time you're doing it as well. But the whole point is that you stay the same exact weight and you add calories every single week. So when I started with the guy that I'm training with now, my metabolism was fucked. The years of yo-yo dieting and just trying to cut. It's nobody's fault but my own, just years of being in a caloric deficit, really. And that'll crash anybody's metabolism. So I was at this point to where basically in 2,000 calories a day maintenance, I guess maybe it was like 2,400 calories a day maintenance, probably what the real maintenance was, because I could lose a little bit of weight on 2,000 a day when I cut back to 2,000. So basically what I've been doing is just adding clean food every single week. And I've got from that 2,400 calorie maintenance mark up to where I'm at right now is 3,500 calories finally. Maintenance with like 267 grams of grams of protein. and like 400 something grams of carbs. I mean, a fuckload of carbs, almost 500 carbs, actually, I think. And so the whole point to this is so basically your body adapts, and chime in if I'm saying something incorrect. You probably know a little bit more about this stuff than I do, Joel. But from what I understand and what I know through my personal experience is that your body will adapt when you add food. Your metabolism will ramp up and your body will adapt, and you'll more efficiently burn that food and basically stay the same weight and not add fat.
If this is important too, because if you're not lifting, or you're not working out, and you're just adding food, you have to give your body an excuse to use that food, or it's just going to store it.
Absolutely.
Which I know you've been doing like 2 days, probably 100 out of the last 110 days. You're doing 2 a days with the 75 hard phase, the initial and phase 1 too. So
the crazy thing is though, is actually my metabolism stalled a little bit when I was going too hard. Because I had too much stress on the body, which this is another big thing when you're building metabolism. My metabolism didn't really start cranking to where, because there was weeks where I couldn't add food because the weight would go up a little bit, or basically go up a little bit, or it looked like I packed on a little bit of fat or something like that. In my pictures, I take a check-in picture every single week. And so when I was hitting it super fucking hard and going really hard on 75 hard, like actually killing both workouts and just running my body raw, stress was so high in my body that it actually stalled my metabolism a little bit. And there was a few weeks when I couldn't add food. So the last phase of 75 hard that I did, also at that point in time when I was doing my gym. So 75 hard is 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes minimum. One has to be outside, right? So when I was going super hard, I was hitting like an hour and a half still in the gym every day, hard as fuck. And then I'd still do 45 minutes of cardio outside, hard as fuck. And that was like July and hot as fuck too. So that just drained my body. So what I started doing on this last phase is I cut my gym back to 45 minutes to an hour max. And I'd still go hard on my lifting, but then for my cardio, I just did like a walk and went super easy, or like a light bike ride, a slow bike ride. And so I tried to limit my stress. And that's actually when my metabolism opened up the most. And ever since I started doing that and giving my body a little bit of rest as well, and taking some of the stress off my body, now I've been adding substantial amounts of food every single week.
I think the first step it's a slippery slope. And here's the only reason I kind of was hesitant about this topic is because you'll always have guys who like their diet is shit and they just don't realize how bad it is. And so then they're like, man, like I get guys that are 60 pounds overweight on a discovery call and they're like, man, I just like, maybe I'm not eating enough. I was like, that's not it. You probably just eat like shit and you don't work out is a big part of it. So for those few people, I don't want them thinking like, oh yeah, I just got to increase my metabolism, cultivate mass. So I would say step 1 is to get some sort of calorie tracker, MyFitnessPal, or there's a bunch of them that are free, and like log your shit and see how many calories you're averaging per day and see if you're losing weight, gaining weight, or staying the same, and do it for like 3 to 4 weeks. So that way, okay, well, here's my baseline. If I have 4,000 calories, I'm gaining a pound a week. If I have 2,000 calories, I lose a little bit. 3,000, I seem to not see much on the scale. Because once you have that baseline, because if you track and you say, okay, well, I fucking gain weight anything over 1,400 calories, then you definitely need to increase your metabolism.
Or you're 200 pounds and even over 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
You gain weight.
Yeah. If you have a lot of weight to lose and you're already eating fucking 1,200 calories, you have to continually cut to hit that next level. So you're just setting yourself up for failure at the very beginning if your metabolism's totally fucked.
100%. So the only way you can lose weight is caloric deficit. There's multiple ways to do it. But caloric deficit is how you lose weight. So the whole point to this is get your metabolism high, super high, to where like my goal is eating 5,000 calories a day before I start cutting here, hopefully by spring, for at least 3 to 4 weeks, like not for a long period of time, but hopefully by then I'll be at a point to where then if you're eating 5,000 calories a day, then you can pull back and drop 1,000 or even 1,500 calories a day easily, still be eating a substantial amount of food, still have high proteins to keep your muscle, and you drop weight like that. It just makes it so much easier. If you can take a cut of 1,000 to 1,500 calories to lose weight per day, that's a lot easier than say your metabolism is at 2,400 and you're only taking a 400 calorie cut per day to get down to 2,000 calories to lose weight.
So what would you say to someone who's a hard gainer and they're trying to put on size?
Real quick, let me say one more thing real quick. But to your point, there's a big difference in somebody that's eating like shit, thinks they're eating clean, but isn't tracking it and is just eating like shit and being a fat ass in all reality. And that's why they can't lose weight, to a guy like me that tried to lose weight and had dieted consistently for years. There's a reason that bodybuilders, when they do these hard cuts, even bodybuilders that get their calories and their metabolism up that high to say 5,000, and then they do a big cut, they still may cut by the time they get down to show weight, which, they're trying to get down to 4%, which is not what most people are going to be doing. But they'll still take that 5,000 calories all the way down to 2,500. Sometimes to get down to 4% for show weight, which that still fucks your metabolism too. So they still reverse diet after each show and build metabolism again.
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. What would you say to someone who's a hard gainer that they're already eating like as much as they can stomach? They're maybe, let's just say 160 pounds. They want to get to 200. They're eating as soon as they wake up till they go to bed, and they might be naturally increasing their metabolism and they can't put on like mass. Any recommendations for
That's a good question. I mean,
tread.
No, I mean, listen, if you want to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit. If you want to gain weight or gain muscle, you have to be in a surplus. So you have to be in a surplus. I mean, is eating more food gonna ramp up your metabolism the same time that you're trying to gain weight? Yes. But can you still eat over your metabolism? Yeah. I mean, they just have to eat more food.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
And I meet a lot of guys that are like lifting 6 days. So to your point for doing the 2-a-days, if you're doing 75 hard, you're working out in the gym hard for an hour a day and then also doing cardio 7 days a week, it's going to be tough to put on mass. So sometimes I might tell someone to just lift 3 times a week and cut out the cardio.
Yep.
Because it's just counterproductive at that point.
Yep. And so, sorry guys, I got something in my throat this morning, but so I wasn't supposed to be doing that. When I'm supposed to be building metabolism, my direction from my coach was not to work out twice a day and do cardio every single day. That was just something that I was doing because I was on 75 hard. And it's also something that like 75 hard just gave me the discipline to be able to stay consistent with my diet and to be able to do this, because before 75 hard, I would go, be great during the week and then have beers on the weekends, or, cheat on the weekends here and there, or be great for 2 or 3 weeks and then fall off for a weekend. And so 75 hard gave me the consistency and the strength. And it just like, I don't know, it was like a goal, a plan, like something to stick to. I'm a disciplined person, but I still needed that, like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to fail. This is where I'm heading, And so it just gave me something to stick to. So it was worthwhile for me to do it. Excuse me. To take the good with the bad on it.
Yeah.
But the direction from my coach was not to do that. The direction from my coach was to take it easy, hit the gym 4 to 5 times a week, and maybe do cardio like twice a week for like 20 or 30 minutes a time. And that was
a mental challenge, 75 hard.
Yeah, for sure.
You can get some badass physical benefits from it too. But
most people don't do 75 hard when they're trying to build metabolism.
Right.
Most people do 75 hard when they're trying to cut, as much as they can. And they're usually in a deficit the whole time they're doing 75 hard.
So I think step number 1 is determine what your goal is, because it's funny. Everyone wants to get in shape. Like, what's that mean to you? Do you want to get bigger? You want to be like a mass monster? Do you want to lose fat? Do you want to be like super athletic where you can go run a marathon? Because that's number 1. You can't really optimize all 3 of those things at the same time. You have to pick a lane and then you have to plan accordingly. Definitely need to know, if you're going this route, what your calorie maintenance is so you can plan. And if it's dog shit, you got to build it up. If it's super high and you're trying to put on mass, well, that's a totally different story. But yeah, it's just, I agree with you.
And to what you're saying right here, to me, the whole building metabolism deal, is it always going to be easier to cut the higher your metabolism is? Yes.
Yeah.
But do you need to build metabolism up to where I'm going, 5,000 calories, if all you're trying to do is be lean at 160 or 180 pounds? No, you don't.
Or even lose 10 pounds.
Yeah, no, you don't. But the way that I see this whole build metabolism deal is if you're trying to be a fucking monster and you want to be 5'10", six-pack abs at 200 or 205, then this is the route that you have to go to build metabolism up and put on mass.
If your metabolism's dog shit, you should definitely build it up.
Right.
Anyone.
Right.
Because it's no fun eating
but
fucking
could I have
but
cut, say I got down to 201 and I plateaued, right? That was plateauing at 2,000 calories a day. Could I have dropped down to like 1,500 or 1,000 and cut down to 190, 185? Probably, but that's not my goal. I don't want to be 180 pounds at 5'10", eating zero food, probably would have lost some muscle and then kind of ripped. You know what I mean? My goal is to be fucking jacked, monster ripped at like, hopefully 200 pounds. If less, maybe 195. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And to get to that goal, I had to put on lean mass. I had to build my metabolism, and I have to, build my metabolism up so that I can cut down.
We took questions from the group, but my phone's over there. It's a makeshift camera. So do you remember any of the good questions?
Let me look.
I know one guy said how to get rid of fucking man boobs, and that's a pretty easy one when you think about it. You have to train chest a lot, ideally twice a week. You have to hit a variety.
Well, how big is he?
I didn't look at his boobs myself.
It's like, do you just need to trim fat?
You need to build up the muscle and you need to trim the fat.
Right.
So that's definitely a big one. Man boobs. No one wants to be walking around with man boobs. But if you have like no muscle in your chest and you just lose the fat, you're still going to have man boobs. And if you build the muscle, but you keep the fat, you're still going to have man boobs. So you have to
here's the man boob one.
All right. What's it say?
Yeah. Since COVID, he lost all his motivation to work out. Weight's been increasing. Would like to get rid of my body fat. Struggle as the wife is pregnant. Basically, he's eating too much because the wife is pregnant. Third
That's
child.
what we talked about on the fucking last podcast.
Any advice to get my fitness back on track? And then he says thoughts on intermittent fasting.
So, like we talked about on the last podcast, is right now, we don't want to lose you as a fan here, but you're making excuses. My wife's pregnant. You don't want it bad enough. Yeah. And that's what it always boils down to. So if you were saying, hey, I'm training hard 5 times a week, I'm eating clean, I'm tracking my calories and macros, I'm doing some intermittent fasting, nothing's working. Okay, man, well, let's dive into this. But you're just saying like you're not doing anything.
Here's the deal, dude. I've been there. When my son's mother was pregnant, I gained a lot of weight. And it wasn't like I was huge muscly. Like back then I was just working. I wasn't really lifting. I think I got up to like 230 pounds, but this wasn't my 240 where I was actually lifting and somewhat looked decent with clothes on. This was like 230 skinny fat, And so I get it. I know how it goes. She would pick all kinds of fucking food and the good food. I understand how hard it is. But I was also in a different mindset and a different place in my life at that point in time. Right now, I'm at a place to where it feels good to win. It feels good to achieve. I have momentum going in the route of doing what I'm doing. I've got a strict God damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? I've got a strict regimen, routine. I've got days that I go to the gym, times I go to the gym. Actually, I go to the gym every fucking day and I love it. I've got a diet that I stick to that I like eating. I feel good when I eat clean. You know what I mean? So if I were to have another child today, I know that I wouldn't fall off in that same way that I did before because I've got this momentum going. And I feel good from it. I have good results from what I'm doing, and I don't want to stop that because I feel good. And when I do stop that, even for a day, I feel like a pile of shit. And that's enough for me to say, fuck this. I'm getting back on what I was doing because I felt good doing it. Now, this guy's saying because of COVID, I understand that the world got overturned. What's it been? Almost a year ago now, not quite a year ago. It's been a while, months ago. The world got turned upside down. I understand there was a lot of uncertainty. But newsflash, shit ain't going nowhere. Hasn't gone nowhere. Not going to go nowhere. You've got to get your shit together. Stop using that as an excuse. Move forward. Get a plan together. Figure out what you're going to do to change what's been going on. Build the fucking momentum. It's going to be hard until you get the momentum going. But after you get a couple weeks into it, 3-4 weeks into it, piece of cake, you're going to feel good. You're going to start seeing results. Boom.
Yeah. And by building the momentum, another thing I see some guys struggle on is like, okay, I'm going from not doing anything since March of this year to, okay, now I'm going to train 2 hours a day, every day, and do cardio on top of that and eat nothing but chicken breast, oatmeal, and egg whites. Like, you can't go 0 to 100 that quick, or you're going to burn out after like the second day. You're going to be sore. You're going to be tired of the chicken, and you're going to say, oh, fuck this. And you're going to throw in the towel again. Do little small wins. Say, all right, I'm going to get to
0 to 100, but for most people, you're probably right.
When you're just starting out, getting back into it, it can, if you keep trying and you keep failing, it can be very demoralizing, and then you end up throwing the towel in altogether. So I would recommend, because here's the thing, it's just like what we were just talking about. If you want to lose fat and you start off week 1 where you're doing cardio every day, you're lifting every day, and you cut your calories to 1,000, and you have 40 pounds to lose, well, you have no place to go. And since our bodies are adaptation machines, if you want to hit that next level, once you plateau, now you have to work out 4 hours a day, cut your calories to 500. And it's like, you have to give yourself space to always have that next trick up your sleeve to keep progressing. Because if you start off balls to the wall, all you're really doing is limiting the distance that you're actually going to go. So what I would say, if you're doing nothing right now, that's actually a good spot to be, like silver lining, because anything you do, you're going to start seeing progress. And the further you can stretch that out, the farther you're going to go with that goal. But yeah, number one, man, you have to do something. You can't keep looking for like the right time, motivation. You just have to get the momentum going.
And you got to want it hard enough, just like you said.
Yeah.
Here's a good one for you. Can you lift heavy while fasting?
I DM'd this guy. He's actually doing my program right now.
Oh, no shit.
And I said, fuck yeah, you can, Landy. Nice. What are you talking about?
Nice.
So that's the thing about fasting too, is, and I guess maybe even with the keto diet, when you're used to lifting with carbs, everyone always says carbs is your body's preferred source of fuel, which is true. It'll burn it faster and you can lift heavier when you're all carbed up, for sure. But what's funny is we always talk about in my program is like the first week to 10 days of working out fasted, your body's just kind of making that transition to like, oh, I can burn this fat. I can use this fat for fuel. And while it's making that transition, your first week of lifting, it seems like your lifts go down, your rest in between sets has to go up. You're a little bit more winded. Your body's like, what the fuck are we doing? But it's like day 10, something clicks and just your lifts go back up. You feel great. And I mean, I always train in the morning fasted, even though right now I'm actually trying to put on some weight just because I feel better and I have more energy because not all my body's resources are going to digesting the food I just ate. I can put it all into the gym. So you hear about like the keto flu and shit like that. There is a transition period where your lifts might go down a little bit, but once your body makes that transition, I've seen literally like hundreds of times at this point, including for myself, your lifts go right back up to where they were. So hell yeah, lift heavy always.
I will say it's weird because I've done the fasting deal too. And I will say it's weird that when I was fasting frequently and I would lift fasted, I felt good lifting fasted. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, I don't know. It's always weird for me. I'm not going to say I put on as much. I don't feel like all right, I felt good lifting fasted. It wasn't like I was running out of energy or anything like that, but I don't think I felt like I had as much strength when I was lifting fasted. Like I didn't have that fucking big carb pump.
You don't get the pump.
As if I would have just ate, a whole fucking sleeve of rice cakes before I went to the gym. You know? Where was I going with that? Oh, but the weird thing is now that I don't fast and I eat fucking constantly because I'm trying to build my metabolism. Now, if I skip like just one, and I'll still have ate that day. Like I may have gone to the gym at 10 a.m., still ate breakfast, but I skipped like one meal before the gym. I'll do part of my workout and start getting like lightheaded, like completely like feel depleted, and then like have to fucking eat something to continue working out.
It's all about adaptation. So now your body's used to, again, it needs the carbs to have like a badass workout. And so if you go a day or two without it, then yeah, you're going to feel it. Same as if I'm used to working out fasted and then I have a big breakfast, I'm not even going to want to go to the gym. I'd rather just fucking be on the couch.
Something to think about here too, though, is like goals are probably different. If you're fasting and you're working out fasted, your goal probably isn't to put on a fuckload of muscle anyways, or build metabolism or anything like that. Your goal is probably to shred fat. You know, if you're in a fasting program to lose weight, that's probably more your goal. So if that's where you're heading, I don't think there's anything wrong with lifting heavy while you're fasting. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's just a different direction than, say, a guy that was trying to fucking get from, you know, add weight, say a guy that was 160 trying to get to 180, or a guy that's trying to build his metabolism or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the reason I say lifting heavy is good while fasting is because anytime you're in a calorie deficit, fucking, what do they tell you when you're cutting calories and carbs and everything? If you're training for a show, or you have to lift heavy, you still have to get the volume in, because anytime you're in a calorie deficit, you're losing weight. But how do you make sure that weight is coming from fat? You have to send that signal to your muscles. Hey, I still need you motherfuckers hanging around.
Right.
So lift heavy. If you're only lifting fucking a 5-pound dumbbell every day, your body's going to be like, oh, well, we were lifting 40s a couple months ago. We're losing weight. Looks like we can get rid of some of this muscle. We're not using it anymore. Whereas if you're going to the gym and fucking pushing yourself and lifting heavy, your body's goes, oh, wow, like we're still lifting just as heavy. We're not getting as many calories. Hey, we have all this fucking fat hanging around on this gut.
Let's burn that.
We can get rid of that.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Landy, no excuses, man. Lift heavy, bro.
Another question is there useful data to compare HIIT versus steady state cardio for weight loss or overall health? Yes, there is. You can look it up anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
HIIT. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, HIIT will HIIT's better for weight loss than steady state cardio.
So I fucking hate, like, someone posted on there. Do you guys think that sometimes people make this too complicated? And I loved it. Yeah, I think we do. Because there are some studies say that you burn more fat while you do fasted cardio.
That's actually, I think there's a comment on there of that.
But then just as soon as you start eating carbs again, then it like catches up and it all balances out at the end. So it's like you can find studies for yes, you can find studies for no. People who make YouTube videos are going to cherry pick to whatever they fucking
cardio
do.
Makes you burn calories longer. So that's what I've always heard and what I've always felt and known to be true for me. Is HIIT cardio is supposed to actually basically speed up your metabolism for a longer period of time than steady state cardio will. So steady state cardio, you might burn the same amount of calories depending on how long you went.
I was thinking fasted cardio is what I was referring to.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, okay. So HIIT,
yeah, I'm talking about HIIT
steady
cardio.
state.
Yeah, HIIT and steady state.
Yeah, I think
Interval, basically, any interval of steady state.
But again, it comes down to just like what you were talking about, and I know Nick Langer has echoed quite a few times. If your body's overly stressed out because you're fucking lifting all the time, and then you're going balls to the wall running sprints uphill too, then that could also hinder you. So in that case, steady state cardio might be the answer. It just fucking depends.
That's true.
So it's just, there's not people want a one size fits all. You have to figure out, okay, if I fucking hate doing HIIT, but like I don't mind going out and jogging around the block a few times and it's something I'll stick to, that's going to be better for you. If you're a busy fucking dad and you're like, I only have 15 minutes, so a 15-minute jog's not going to do much, go out and do some HIIT. You got to find what's going to work best for you. And if it's not working, switch it up.
There are studies, though, that like say 30 minutes of steady state cardio versus 30 minutes of HIIT, that the thermogenic effect on HIIT cardio burns longer than steady state cardio.
Well, 30 minutes of HIIT versus 30 minutes of steady state, of course, because you're going way harder in those 30 minutes. But if
it
it's
depends.
Like,
what if you're running steady state at 8 miles an hour for 30 minutes versus doing like 1 minute on, 2 minutes off at HIIT like I do?
Well, steady state implies that you're not going to that threshold where your heart's like, it means like you're more jogging. So if it's like 10 minutes of HIIT versus 30 minutes of steady state, again, that's why I fucking hate these dorks on Instagram and YouTube. Just like, well, a new study came out, said it's pretty easy.
All right, I'm going to read. Hang on. I should probably pre-screen this. I'm just going to read this because I think it's probably going to be funny. So my biggest thing,
we should give names on here.
You.
We should give shout outs unless it's like they don't want to.
I don't know. There's a lot of people listening to this that aren't in the group too.
Yeah, but this will imply like to partake in our
Let's see if we're making fun of them first or not.
All right.
So this one says, my biggest thing is the biggest thing I'm struggling with is dropping my body fat percentage. I've tried fasting. I've tried keto. I've tried counting carbs. I'm 25 to 26% body fat, and I want to get back down to 16 to 18. I cut out a lot of sugar, pop. I cut out alcohol. I cut out a lot of alcohol one night a week. So you're only drinking one night a week. Tried supplements and metabolism boosters. I work out 3 to 4 days a week on top of soccer, volleyball 2 times a week. So cardio isn't much of an issue there. Nothing seems to help. Just looking for recommendations on where to go from here. So that's Grayson Carpenter. And that's actually a good question, I think. And so what I would say is, honestly, we need more background. I mean, you've listed some good information, but are you really eating clean?
When you said counted carbs, like did he mean calories? Because that's a big difference.
I've tried fasting. I've tried keto. I've tried counting carbs. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, he did say counting carbs. But that would be my first question: is, are you really eating in a deficit?
Because you know what your baseline is.
Yeah, that's really what you need to do is get into a deficit. So what you need to do is you need to start by tracking your calories, not just your carbs, but your calories and macros in a program like MyFitnessPal. Figure out where your what'd you just say? God, I'm having a brain fart. Figure out where your maintenance is at and go from there. So if your maintenance is at, and again, we don't know your height, weight, anything like that.
What kind of workouts you're doing.
Yeah. But if your maintenance, say you're me and you're 5'10", 215 pounds, and your maintenance is at 2,000 calories a day, and it's truly at 2,000 calories a day, like you didn't cheat, you tracked for 3 to 4 weeks, and that's truly where you're at to not gain or lose any single weight, then your metabolism is fucked. And you need to build metabolism. You need to do exactly what I'm doing. You need to add clean food every single week, keep it clean, and you want your weight to stay exactly the same, build up your metabolism enough to where it's easier to cut. Now, if you do that deal and you realize, oh, fuck, I really wasn't eating clean, and you start losing weight, or you figure out that your baseline is higher than 2,000, I don't know what a healthy baseline to be able to cut would be. You know, for me, like I said, I'm trying to actually be a monster bodybuilder and look different, so it's kind of a different story. But say a guy was 200 pounds, and we don't even know how much weight he wants to lose, but say a guy was 200 pounds and wants to lose 20 pounds, if he's 25%, he wants to get down to 16 to 18%. That'd probably be like 20 pounds, something like that.
You needed more context, man.
Yeah. I'd say if your baselines, I'd say at least 3,000. If you're just trying to cut 10 or 20 pounds as a guy, decent sized guy, I think you'd be all right.
And also if you're trying all these things too, it depends, like, okay, did you do keto for 2 weeks? And then you lost 5 pounds, but you gained it back. So you start intermittent fasting and you didn't work for the first week. So you switched to counting your carbs.
Exactly.
And then
are you consistent?
People don't understand a lot of times that, unless you hit me up, it's a slow process. Like if you go into a 500 calorie deficit and you're doing everything right, that's on track for you to go from 215 to 214 in a week. So it's not like it happens overnight and you're going to wake up. And I know a lot of people lose water weight in their first week. So say he went keto and lost 5 pounds his first week. And then his second week, he only lost 2 pounds. And then he's like, now only losing 2 pounds. He's like, well, I thought I was losing 5 pounds a week. This isn't working anymore. Maybe I'll try this instead.
You got to stay consistent, man. That's it. My last week's check-in, I went up 2 pounds. I get in my head about this stuff too. I'm like, oh, fuck. We just raised calories. Now I'm up 2 pounds. Fuck. I'm gaining weight again. It's easy to get in your head. But then this week I stayed consistent. I said that to my coach. Hey, man, I feel like I'm gaining weight again. I feel like I'm getting fat again. He's like, you think you're getting fat every other day. Shut up and stay with the plan. Stay with the plan. Back down to 216 today. Exactly where I've been the last 2 months. Still adding food.
We all know that guy that switches their fucking fitness routine every week and a half.
Yep.
And they're the most annoying
and then they wonder
person.
why they don't get results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as a fitness coach with a lot of friends into fitness. They're like, God forbid they sign up for a program. They just tell me like, oh, I read this in Men's Health. It's the bean and lettuce diet. I heard it. Here's why the science makes sense. It's like, dude, you're so stupid.
All right. Let's see if we got any other good ones in here. Carbs are beneficial, but does timing of when you consume them matter? Carb loading, basically. I think it does, yes. Again, it depends on your goals. But if your goal is to gain muscle, build metabolism, gain weight, anything like that, I think it does help. I think it's good to carb load before you work out. I think it's good to have carbs right after you work out to pre-fuel your muscles and post-fuel your muscles. I'm actually adding in now God, I can't remember what the fuck it is, but it's basically a drink, cryo something that's like 50 grams of carbs in a drink liquid powder that I'm drinking during my workout just to get an extra like carb pump.
Does it help? Yeah. Is it going to make or break you? Fuck no. At that point, you're splitting hairs.
It depends on where you're at too. Like if you're fluffy like I am right now and you're just working on building metabolism, see, I don't know. I feel like it does help to fuel your workouts to get a better workout in to actually gain more muscle. But are you actually going to really drastically see that stuff until you get down to a lean body fat percentage? No.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's like supplements. Does it help? Yeah. Is it like the end all be all? Not even fucking close.
It's like trend. You know, do you get on trend right now when you're fluffy, when you're not going to be able to see it? Or do you wait till you're like, 10% body fat to get on trend so that you can fucking just fuck shit up? That's kind of like what it's for. Which I've actually never.
So when would you write? You said pre-workout and post-workout, and that's if your goal's what?
For carb loading?
Yeah.
All right. So
again, we don't even know what the guy's fucking goal is, but
yeah,
it also depends.
Honestly, I say unless you're like I say for anything, unless you're fasting, really, that would be my thing.
I would say if you're trying to build muscle, yes. If you're trying to lose fat, no.
So why is that though? Because if someone's not fasting, say they're just trying to lose fat.
Yeah, not even fasting.
Say they're just trying to lose fat in a caloric deficit.
Yeah.
And so they say you have carbs per day. They may not be a fuckload of carbs because you're in a caloric deficit, but you have carbs per day nonetheless. Wouldn't you still want to fuel those carbs around your workout? I would say yes.
Yeah, you would.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
But I would say if it's strictly fat loss, you still want to retain your muscle, but fat loss is like your number one prerogative. Then just like we were talking, well, I was talking about fasted cardio because I was answering the wrong question. But again, your body's preferred source of fuel is carbs, meaning it'll burn that first. So if you wake up in a fasted state and you go to the gym and you work out fasted, you are tapping into your fat if you're carb depleted. Now, if you carb load and then go to the gym, you're going to have a better workout, just like you're saying. But now instead of burning through that fat, you're burning through those carbs you just ate, and you're not tapping into fat, especially if you're carb loading again afterwards and you're getting more carb. Then all that's doing is taking away from the fat burning. So, I mean, Thomas DeLauer has a lot of good videos on fasted workouts and why they're beneficial. He says a bunch of words that I don't even fucking understand. But if your goal is to build muscle,
so you would say in that context to do your whole workout fasted and hit the carbs after you work out.
Yeah.
See, and that I would agree to that for someone that's trying to lose weight that is fasting.
Yeah.
But if you're not fasting,
you'll get a better workout.
Then I would say if you're not fasting, there's 100 different ways to fucking do this, right? If you're gonna fast and that's your way, then I agree. If you're not fasting and you're just eating in a caloric deficit and you have a certain amount of carbs to eat per day, doesn't matter where I eat them, my answer would be yes.
Yeah, around your workout's always gonna be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Agree. But I would highly recommend checking out Thomas DeLauer. Like I said, he's got like some fucking 35-minute videos on that shit, which I'm not going to recap now. But
and if fasting is something that you are more interested in, DM Joel and look at his fucking program and his results, because he's got guys losing like fucking 90 pounds in
6 days.
No, like what is it though? Like 12 weeks, 90 days.
74 is the most, but yeah, handful of 60s, a lot of 50s, 40s.
What is TRT and why is everyone on it?
Tarantula rectum tartar.
Yeah, that sounds nasty. That sounds disgusting. Sounds like something you have to scrape off your butthole.
So TRT, I mean, it's obvious. Oh, well, I shouldn't say obviously if you don't know what it is, but it's testosterone replacement therapy.
Yep.
Thing on that is you just want to go in and just like we were talking about your baseline of calories, you want to see, is your testosterone low? And your doctor's going to tell you that it's within healthy range, but does that mean it's at 300 or does that mean it's at 600? So you got to do your research. Ideally, when you're in your prime, like your 20s, you get your testosterone checked so you can see like when you are feeling your best.
What your natural is.
Yep. So that way, when you go back when you're 30, 40, 50, you're like, well, I always felt really good at 750 or whatever your number was. But if your testosterone is low, testosterone replacement therapy, of course, is just getting the exogenous testosterone up the keister, right? Or in your
butt cheek, not in your butthole, but yeah.
So don't confuse that.
So testosterone replacement therapy is generally for older males, and as you get older, your natural testosterone will lower with a lot of guys, not all, but a lot of guys. So if you are, it's late 30s, early 40s usually. Mine happened early 30s. So it can happen, I guess, really at any age. But if you're starting to feel sluggish, slow, you don't have the energy you used to have, your sex drive dropped. That actually never happened to me. But your sex drive drops, you're slow, you're sluggish, you're burning or you're gaining fat. You're doing the same exact workout, eating the same shit, but you have less energy. You're putting on fat that just came out of nowhere. Then it's time to go get your testosterone checked. And you go to the doctor, they do a blood panel. They check your natural testosterone in your body and your bloodstream. And there's a healthy range. You got to figure out what range you want to be in, because the doctors will tell you at a pretty low range that you're still in the normal. For me, I like to be optimal. So I want to be around 800 to 1,000, maybe even 1,200 sometimes. That'd be like, 18-year-old kid, going through puberty optimal. That's how I like to be. So figure out what range you want to be in, and then you get testosterone therapy where you go to the doctor every week and they put a shot in your ass and they shoot testosterone in you.
See, I'm naturally low, I guess, because I got tested twice. Once I was at like 330 or 303, I think it was. Dyslexic. I can't remember which one. And then the other time I was like, I cut back drinking a little bit, cut back training a little bit because I was training every fucking day, lifting as hard as I could. And I went back and it was like,
that can also drop your test though. Yeah. And you were going hard. I remember back then.
Yeah.
I mean, no days off, and that can lower your test just from your body being stressed out.
Yeah. What I will say is like my physique is about as good as I want. Always trying to improve, obviously, but energy's good. So if you're eating like shit, you're not training, and you're like, oh, it must be my testosterone. Try to build it up the right way first. Clean up your diet, get into the gym, move some weight around, maybe run around the block a couple times. Stop watching porn. That's a big one.
Yeah, being a fat pile can lower your testosterone naturally. Yeah. Eating like shit can lower your testosterone. Not working out can lower your testosterone. Being in the gym, working out, getting a hard workout actually ramps up your body's natural testosterone, the ability to make natural testosterone. Actually doing leg days, like really hard leg days, will boost your natural testosterone. So there are things to look at first. I guess I was thinking of me when I first talked in the TRT context. But yeah, if you got 50 pounds to lose or more, and you're not really doing shit right now, you're sitting on the couch eating bags of potato chips, and you think your testosterone's low, maybe try eating healthy first, exercising regularly, try to get some of that weight off. Now, if you're at a point to where you have a good regimen, you're eating healthy, you're working out consistently, and things start to change, like I talked about, like you start feeling slow, you're fatigued, you'll have less energy, less sex drive, you're gaining body fat all of a sudden out of the blue. That's when you want to go get it checked.
This is going to sound like I'm making it up, but I've heard that your morning erection is like the best telltale sign of how your overall health is as a man. So if you wake up with like a little flaccid dingy, then it's probably time to go get checked or make some lifestyle changes. And if you're waking up with like a rocket, you're doing something right. And if you're somewhere in the middle, well, then you're probably just average, which is where I'm at probably. Unless I had like an awesome dream.
Has it gotten better since you quit drinking?
I'll let you know tomorrow morning. I haven't been paying attention. But never like just hanging over, which is nice.
All right, I'm trying to see if there's any other good ones in here. We could just get to this.
For all those curious.
Yeah, we could just get to this gym etiquette.
God, I was speaking of gym etiquette. I was at the gym last week, and I just said hi to a guy. It turned into a fucking 15-minute conversation. The whole time, I'm putting plates on my barbell, putting like my headphones back on, walking away. and he's still talking. So it's like, I'm kind of still nodding and like, but it was like, how can some people just not get the hint? Like, yeah, man. Yeah, so anyways, I was like, huh? Oh, you're still going?
There's another one here that I'll end our questions with, but it's going to be hard to say without more information, but it says he's put on about 5 pounds per year.
Oh, I saw this one.
Of lean mass, 126 pounds, or what is this? 126 to 150. Is that his body weight?
Yeah.
Really? Man, he started at 126 pounds. That's crazy. So 126 pounds to 150 pounds over the last 4 years. Keeping close to the same body fat. I really want to know, should I be seeing more progress? I know lots of guys who seem to have no problem stacking on muscle. That's why I asked. So about 5 pounds per year of lean mass, staying the same body fat percentage, basically.
I would say that's, if it's not average, it's right under average, like pretty good. 5 pounds of lean muscle when the body fat's not changing. It's a slow process, man.
It is a slow process. I don't know.
Especially natural.
To me, that's what I was going to say. We need more info, but to me, that seems like a little on the low side to me. I guess it depends on what this guy's goals are. If he started at 126 and he's now 150 in 4 years, that's great. First of all, congratulations to you. But I would say assess your goals, figure out where you want to be. If you're trying to get up to that 180 pound range, I would say that I would get a little bit more aggressive and probably pack on a little body fat with it. Not just try to lean bulk and only gain muscle and continue my same body fat percentage. I would clean bulk, but I would actually put on some body fat, put on a fuckload of muscle and a body fat in a year and then cut. I mean, that's what most guys do is they'll build metabolism, bulk throughout the winter, cut springtime for summer.
So we all have a genetic potential. And the closer you get to that line, the harder it gets to fucking build the muscle. So if you've never lifted before, you've never cleaned up your diet, anything like that, and you start your first year, especially if all your hormones are optimized, you're that perfect age where your testosterone's up, everything's dandy. Dandy. I don't think I've ever used dandy. You might put on you could put on, there's guys that have naturally put on like 30 pounds of fucking muscle in a year that are just go from like having done nothing to getting after it, complete lifestyle change, and they're in their like 18 to 22 years old. But you can't put on 30 pounds of muscle year after year after year. The closer you get to that genetic potential, the closer you get, the more it's going to slow down. So it also, if you're 126 and now you're 150 something, you've already put on a good amount of muscle. You're going to be getting closer to that genetic potential. I agree with you 100%. Put on some body fat.
Yeah.
Have some nachos, man. Enjoy life.
Well, and also like, how are you eating? Are you eating enough protein, to be able to pack on the optimal amount of muscle as well?
Training body parts multiple times
What kinds
a
of
week.
lifts are you doing? Yeah. Are you hitting every body part at least twice a week? Are you doing, if I were him, I'd be doing heavy ass weight, low reps, to pack on as much muscle as I can.
Progressive overload's like number one. Make sure you're lifting heavier, doing more volume.
Failed reps. Yeah, for sure. Make sure that you're tearing that muscle. Make sure your nutrition's right, that you have enough protein in your diet to rebuild it back up. And then the other question would be, is he natty?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
It sounds like he is. Yeah. All right. I think that was it for most of the questions. And that's actually, those are some pretty good questions. So I appreciate everybody in the group chipping in there. That was Josh Howard.
What's your biggest pet peeve in the gym?
The biggest one?
Yeah.
All right. So it would have to be fucking people that either steal the fucking bench on chest day when they're all full for like hours. Or they're fucking supersetting on when the gym's packed and like they got a fucking bench and a squat rack and they're using like on the other sides of the gym and they're walking back and forth when the gym's packed. Like my gym, there's only fucking like 2-3 squat racks and 2 benches. So it's not hard for that shit to get full. And there's only one really good fucking chest bench. You know, the other one I don't like as much.
They just put their water bottle on it and you don't see them for 5 minutes.
Yeah, dude, I hate that shit.
It's the worst.
That shit pisses me off. I've had guys where they're in there like busy as fuck gym. Gym is packed and they're in there filming. And I had one where there was this guy and girlfriend together and he had like, they had the squat rack, the best squat rack and the best bench. And they had cameras set up at each and they were going back and forth with a good fucking, like I did my whole fucking workout and this chick didn't even come back to the bench at all. And like had the camera sitting there and I was like, I actually said something to him that time.
I remember this.
Yeah.
You told me about it.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you guys can't fucking do that. What do you mean? There's 2 of us. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Look at this fucking gym. Like it's packed. That's not cool. Get the fuck on. Like if the gym's packed, use your fucking machine, get your reps in. If the gym's packed, I will set my timer in between reps to make sure I'm not being an asshole and taking too long of a time. So I'll have like my minute or 2 minute rest. If it's chest, I do 2 minute rest in between sets. And I'll set my timer, get back at it, get the fuck done, let somebody else have it.
I might be alone in this. So this isn't my biggest pet peeve, but this is one that's very polarizing. You're either like, well, then don't go to the gym, or you're like, oh, I fucking hate that shit too. Is when you have fucking, it's always the same guy or same type, just fucking,
Sheets, Josh, Sheets.
It is Sheets. Sheets. I love you, but there's one guy.
Sheets has a good fucking grunt, man.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, it sounds like they're having sex. Like they just took it up the ass or something.
Well, Sheets like will fall on the ground after doing his hack squat. So it's like, okay, maybe 1 or 2 of those were real. Maybe. I'm not giving you too much credit. But there's a guy at my gym that he's not doing anything. It's just like his habit now. If he's lifting, everyone around has to fucking know about it and look at it.
You know what else drives me nuts?
How do you feel about that? Am I alone in that, or are you in this kind of a similar boat where that's like, all right, dude, you could probably tone it down a little bit here?
It depends, man. I mean, if it's like the guy that is clearly just looking for attention, then yes. Like the guy that's got like no weight on the bar and he's like, you know, clearly wanting people to see that he's moving something, then yes. If it's a dude like Sheets, it's out there fucking crushing it, putting up a fuckload of weight, and he's got like a manly ass grunt. No, I'm cool with that. That doesn't.
I'd experiment and see if the grunt actually helps. Though,
yeah,
you know.
Sheets. Joel says experiment. Make sure your grunt helps.
One set without the grunt and see if the weight still goes up. That's what I'd be curious about.
You shouldn't sound like you're having sex when you're working out. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna grunt, it needs to be a nice, manly grunt. Sometimes I grunt.
We were at dinner a couple weeks ago, and my sister was talking about working out, and my nephew's like, "You always sound like you're having sex when you work out."
Oh my god, that's funny as hell.
He's funny as fuck.
My second would be motherfuckers in the gym ego lifting, putting on way too much weight with half reps, dude. It's usually like the old man in the gym that wants to still feel like he can put up as much weight as he did when he was 18. So he never changes the weight and doesn't take any off, even though he can't do it anymore. But that would be it. Or poor form. Ego lifting with poor form or ego lifting with fucking half reps drives me crazy. Like I cannot stand it. It's just a personal thing. I don't know why. It just pisses me off. Like even our buddy Josh O, you know, I gave him shit and sent you a video of him doing his bench. Like half reps. He's like, I got nerve damage, bro. I'm like, yeah, me too. My shoulders hurt too,
yeah,
man.
You're on my nerves.
Stretch a little more, man. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that shit drives me crazy. Like, put enough weight on the fucking bar to do a full rep, to do a good full rep with good form. Like
the results will speak for themselves.
That's how you're going to gain muscle to be able to get to that weight that you're doing this shitty ass form half rep with. Like doing a half rep, I'm sorry, but if you're benching and you're going to here, you're not doing nothing.
Dude, what about a half rep grunter?
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Is there a worse kind of person?
No, that'd be, maybe a guy
that sweats on the bench and doesn't wipe it off.
Maybe the guy that curls in the squat rack.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Do you?
Only if it's fucking dead.
See, that's my thing.
I would never hinder someone from squatting.
That's another thing. So the curling in the squat rack thing only pisses me off. I really don't give a fuck. Like, do what you want in the gym. It only pisses me off if the gym is completely full or the squat racks are full and people are trying to squat. That's the only time it pisses me off.
Ooh, I got another one. Oh, man. I've been going to the gym a long time, man. Just things wear on you. The guy who's either doing it's typically fucking shrugs, but could also be curls in front of the dumbbell rack, fucking 6 inches behind it, and just fucking, you can't get any of the dumbbells around him. because he decides to like curl 25. So now you need like the 20s or the 30s or the 70s, 75, 80s underneath him.
That shit drives me
And he's
crazy.
right fucking behind. So you have to be like,
guess I'll wait. Yeah, that shit drives me crazy too.
take a step back, man. You can still see yourself. You don't got to be fogging up the mirror for it to work.
Public service announcement. Shower the day before you go to, or shower the day of the gym before you go to the gym. You don't have to shower right before you go to the gym, but shower that fucking day. There's some nasty smelling motherfuckers at the gym that just don't fucking care. I don't know if they think, oh, well, fuck it, I'm going to sweat anyways. But there are some people that smell like just straight fucking stank asshole.
A lot of times it's that same person that wears the same shirt every day because they just take it in and out of their gym bag after work and they never wash it.
Don't do that. Wash your gym clothes. Like shower that day. If I smell some fresh sweat, that's cool. We're in the gym. We're working out. That's manly. But if I smell like 2 weeks of not wiping your ass when I walk by you at the gym, dude, there's been times where I about barf.
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Wipe down your machines if you sweat all over them.
Yeah.
You kind of talked about that. But if you sweat all over your shit, wipe it down.
I started getting into if someone looks like they're in the middle of a workout or they're giving you all the signs that they're trying to get back to their workout, stop fucking talking to them.
Yep.
Like, let them get back to their thing. They'll engage in conversation. Like there's a handful. I switch gyms sometimes. So, I belong to 2 or 3 gyms at any given moment is because I'll make friends with someone and then they always come talk to me at the gym for 15 minutes. And then I lose my pump. I lose my focus. I missed half the podcast I was listening to. I'm fucking 15 minutes later at home. It's like, all right, I need to start going to this gym for a few weeks until I lose touch with this person.
Dude, that sounds bad the way you put it, but it's true. Like,
it's true.
There's not a problem with socializing at the gym to an extent. Like, it's good to see buddies. I've got a lot of buddies at the gym, so I always say what's up. Or if I
go like this and don't take my headphones off, it means I don't want to talk.
Or if you're working out with a group of people, But if someone's got their fucking headphones in and you can just tell they're just getting after it, or they give you the nod and then they look right back down. They're fucking working out. Leave them alone. And there's certain times where, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I might only have 45 minutes to get in and out of there. You know what I mean? Or 50 minutes to get in and out of there. And I got a lot to get done in that time frame. So I'm going to give the nod like, hey, what's up? But don't fucking talk to me because I'm trying to get my shit done.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, all right, let me ask you this. Have you ever been crop dusted at the gym?
I've crop dusted.
Oh, God.
I've been crop dusted 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But I've also crop dusted. So I'd be
So the gym depends on what gym you work at. I mean, chicks fart too, but
you always got to go next to the fat guy. That's going to sound fucked up, but people will always assume it was him.
Bodybuilders at the
Life
gym,
hack.
especially if you're in a bodybuilder gym, we eat a lot of fucking protein, so there's a lot of gassy, flatulent motherfuckers in the gym. And dude, just fucking walk somewhere else is all I'm saying. Now, I mean, if you're like squatting a really ass heavy weight and you fart, sometimes that happens. I mean, it is what it is. It sucks if you're spotting that dude when he farts and he's fucking, that sucks. But I'm just saying, try to like walk away from people before you shit your pants.
There's a fat guy squatting and you can take it over there.
Why you say, so you say fart on the fat guys?
I'm saying kind of make him your scapegoat.
Fuck, man.
Which is totally fucked up for him because he's like, all right, I'm in the gym, I'm squatting, leg day, I want to make this, like, life couldn't get any worse. And you got to go. It's just hey,
man, I say good job, fat guy. Get in the gym.
Awesome job. But it's also like
throw your weights at Joel next time you see him.
If you're the rookie at a firehouse or a veteran or like a military guy, you're always the new guy coming up.
He's got to earn his crap dusting rights.
Yeah, you're in that position where someday you get to earn the right to fart next to the fat guy squatting.
Re-rack your fucking weights.
That's a big one.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or put your weights back in the fucking right spot. Yesterday, I was going to put my 45s back, and there's a 2.5 on the bottom one. I was like, have you ever seen a gym where they put the 2.5s on the bottom one?
No. I mean, dude, a lot of times I'll go and there'll be fucking mixed plates. Like you'll have 45s and then like a 25 in between. Someone put another 45 on top and then like a 5 on the top of that. Like, what the fuck? What in the actual fuck was going on here?
Yeah.
All the 45s go together. All the 25s go together. All the 10s go together. All the 5s go together.
Dude, I go by the 2 glance rule. If I'm looking at something and there's like plates on it, say like the chest press machine, there's 2 plates on it which some guys will just leave 2 plates on because they're like, well, if you can't do 2 plates, you fucking should be out here anyway. So they'll just leave 2 plates on. You don't know. Same with like the calf raise machine. People just always leave their plates on, but you don't know if someone's still using it or not.
Right.
You want to kind of be courteous. So I like give it one glance and I'll get back to what I was doing for like maybe a minute tops. If I glance over again and no one's on it, I'm taking that shit off.
I agree. Only other one that I had, let me see, multiple pieces of equipment.
These are going to come to us today when we're at the gym. Oh, but that motherfucker, I should have.
We've talked to them all except for the don't drop your weights hard as fuck. And that one's tough. I mean, if you got hard ass fucking, if you're doing a heavy fucking set, like say you're doing dumbbell chest press or something like that, and you got a heavy ass set, I've dropped weights.
If
I'm
you're
not gonna say I
deadlifting
haven't
and
dropped
dropping
weights.
it from your fucking belly button, you're an asshole.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I've not dropped weights, but I've also seen some dudes like drop some shit that they shouldn't have had to have dropped. And I've actually seen them like fucking bounce off and hit a mirror and break a mirror before.
What's worse than that, or just equally as bad, is someone who's like doing lat pull downs and they just fucking let it go from the bottom. And so the whole rack just goes like, everyone in the gym's like, huh? And they do it every fucking set.
Yeah.
Like, no, the rep is the concentric and eccentric.
Yep.
You got to bring it back. That's the rep. You don't just get to pull it down and fucking slingshot it back. Fucking people at the gym, you motherfuckers.
This has been fun, man. This one's actually been funner than I thought it was going to be to shoot.
We're all guilty of some of these. So I've owned up. I'll crop dust a motherfucker if I need to.
If you see Joel, if you're fat in the gym and you see Joel coming, walk the other way.
Very few people, I would argue none, are watching or listening to this, and they're not guilty of at least one of these. And if you don't think you are, you're the fucking talker. I can tell you right now.
Right.
The people you're talking to, they don't want to.
I've never tried to crop dust somebody, but I will say that I had some heavy ass squats going last week, and I go ass to grass on squats.
You crop dust during the podcast. You can't tell me you don't fart at the gym.
When have I crop dusted on the podcast?
You have.
Whatever,
with
dude.
The testosterone doctor. I was like.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it's funny. You can still remember it. I don't remember that. Maybe I did.
Still have the taste. Still tell you what you had for breakfast.
But I will say that, yeah, I was doing some heavy ass squats last week, and definitely it was silent, but I definitely let one go at the bottom ass to grass. And I did have a dude spotting me too, and I felt horrible. I was like, dude, he didn't say anything, but I was like, I know he can smell that for sure. Like, motherfucker. So try to be cool at the gym. If you're fat, stay away from Joel.
And while we were deadlifting at Lifetime, you were crop dusting, man. You're a crop dusting motherfucker.
Did I?
You're a multiple
offender. That's not crop dusting, though, if I'm not walking by. Well, that's just you. That's all right. That's lifting. That's not walking by someone like getting it directly.
That's almost more courteous because then you're taking the stream with you. You're diluting it.
Hey, man,
it was just a cloud.
If you're lifting, you're doing what you're doing. Shit happens. You're lifting heavy weight.
It was nice because we didn't have smelling salts that day, so I just used that.
There, exactly. I was trying to help you out. That's all.
Which one are you guilty of? Because if you're listening, we're all guilty of one or the other.
The ego lifting is actually probably my number one. That drives me crazy. Ego lifting, dude, just you're not any tougher because you have more weight on the fucking bar than you can actually lift. Like, you actually look like a fucking idiot. It's
funny you mentioned it's always the older guy, too, that won't let go.
Not always, but a lot of times. A lot of times it is. So, yeah. And you're actually not getting any benefit out of it. So,
love it.
All right. If you got anything useful out of this podcast, got any good information, a laugh, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. Tell one friend, please. We do this shit for free. It actually costs us money. So like, share, 5-star review. Tell one friend. We really appreciate it. We want to grow organically. We do not run ads on this motherfucker. So please help us out. Help us to grow organically. We are on all of the formats, SoundCloud, YouTube, all the formats. Spotify, all of them. And they're all on our website. You can check it out. Has all the platforms for the podcast on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. We also have an apparel line for Dads Who Lift that's on the website, www.dadswholiftofficial.com. We are on Instagram, IG handle Dads Who Lift Official. We are on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a group of 34,000 dads and growing that are just men, dads, trying to be their best selves, stay fit at the same time, the best dads they can be, best fathers they can be. If that's something that interests you, check that out. That is a group. You have to actually search groups on Facebook, and it's called Dads Who Lift Official. Got anything else?
No, stop crop dusting, talking to people.
There you go.
Be your best self.
You heard it. You heard it here. All right, guys. Have a good day.
It's forever, you know, this like forever, no surrender. It's forever, you know, this like forever. I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive. I bigger dead than alive, dead than alive. I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive.